Well, welcome to Papa Bear's Peppers, and I'm Harold. Today, sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. I was cheering on my granddaughters this weekend in a cheer competition, but I wanted to come back and readdress my seed starting method. I've done it again this year, and I'm going to show you a little recap of how I do it, but I want to show you some results here that I've got going. These are yellow fever. Now, this is a 2 foot by 4 foot heat mat that I have here. Look at these. These were off of a really big Primo that I had last year, and I want to continue that stock. RB003. And a bunch of other ones I started after that are starting to take off. But I wanted to show you those so that you see how effective this system is. Now, what I'll do here is when they get a little bigger, I'm going to transfer those into one of these. And these are the seed starting cubes. And they work awesome, folks. This is from Bootstrap Farmer. And I've never had a problem with this system. And I get about 98% transplant success doing this way. So let me show you what I do with it, and we'll come back. For this one, we're going to do something a little bit different. And we're going to use the fine vermiculite 1 cup. And what I'm going to do here is this is a standard little tray that you can buy in the stores. They're not very expensive at all. And I'm just showing you another method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cup of vermiculite and I'm just going to pour it into there and level it. Just like that. It's that easy. Now, what I have here is a filtered rainwater. What I'm going to do is just pour this on top. I want to wet this vermiculite down, let it absorb. Now, this water's been soaking and taking into the vermiculite the moisture. So now, and I want to filter out the excess water some. And I want to get out a lot of that moisture that was into there. When it starts dripping, you've gotten to the point where you need to be. For some trace minerals for my vermiculite bed, I'm going to use my Zeus juice from Nectar for the Gods, because this has humic acid and kelp extract with some trace minerals. The humic acid is going to help with breaking down the seed holes that are on it, and the kelp extract, and I'm just putting a couple drops in here. I'm not going to get crazy. These are seedlings. They don't need a lot. I would say the total on this could be maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon or so, and I'm just going to stir that right in. And this is where my root bed is going to be. So once I get that into there, I'm just going to level this out. So as you can see here, I have my bed of medium, just like that, and I've just leveled it out. Now I have my seed bed. Alright, so we're on to our next phase now, and what I've got here is I've got my vermiculite and it's moistened. And I've had it covered. And I'm just going to be sprinkling them over here, just like this. And I'm just randomly putting them in here. There's no real order other than to spread them out a little bit. Now, if you don't have a lot of seeds to do this with, you could be a lot more selective on where you put your seeds. But I'm not that selective, and what I'll do is I'll end up separating these once I have germination. So I'm just increasing my chances of germination right now. Now I'm going to take my soil. Now this has worm castings in it, and I'm going to just cover up a light layer of soil over the top of this vermiculite. That gives it the nutrients with this Nectar number 4 soil. It gives it the initial nutrients that it needs for the seedlings to grow, plus what they have in their seed hole anyway. So I'm just going to cover this up. Use whatever soil you feel like, but I would recommend that you have some high quality worm castings mixed in there too, because that's going to give them nutrients once the inside of their seed hull wears out. And I just put in there, and I'd say it's probably maybe a 3/8 of an inch of soil on top of that vermiculite where those seeds are. Very lightly pack this down. It's nothing hard here, but I want to be able to get that contact with the seeds. It's a very light packing, and then I'm just going to put this lid on. I'm going to go out and put it on the heat mat out in the grow shed. Now in this segment we're going to do something using the Bigfoot Microbes. As you see here, it's a concentrated water and root inoculant. And we're going to apply this to the soil this time rather than using the Nectar for the Gods. As you can see here, I'm getting ready to apply the Bigfoot Microbes. You can see what it does to your root system. It actually is going to generate roots. So we're going to apply it right into the vermiculite, and that will inoculate that and allow those seeds to go right into the mycorrhiza. Now this is a very natural mycorrhiza. It also has other key minerals that will help your seedlings take off without harming them or burning them. So it's perfectly safe to apply this to whether you're doing cuttings or your seedlings. And I stir it in right here. You can see that I'm stirring it all in, giving it plenty of blend into the vermiculite so that it's completely covering my vermiculite. So next we're going to flatten it back out again and get it prepared for the seeds. Once I'm done stirring it in, you're going to see me level it back out and get it ready for a seed bed, as you had seen in the previous section using the Nectar for the Gods. And you can see it's prepared right here, ready for the seeds. We'll take it out into the greenhouse, and we're going to add the seeds first, and it's prepped. Just keep applying the seeds. If you don't have a lot of seeds, you can spread these out accordingly and give them room, but I, in this case, have many seeds, so I just kind of randomly spread them around on the seed bed or the vermiculite bed. Now you may ask, why mycorrhiza fungi? Well, using the mycorrhiza fungi, you're going to build a strong, healthy root system even at the beginning in your seedlings' very early stages. By applying this early, you're going to have very vigorous root growth. Your root system is going to take up a lot of the nutrients from the soil or from your worm castings or your compost tea or whatever you're adding to your soil, and just allow your plants to reach their maximum potential. And that's what we always want. So using the mycorrhizal fungi, attaching to the roots and strengthening and expanding the feelers, I guess if you will, off those roots, are going to allow it to take in a lot more of the nutrients that you're giving them. Lastly, the mycorrhizal fungi will help increase your microbial food web in your soil. Remember, you build your soil, your plants will be strong, and that's the key to starting them right and inoculating your seeds through this system. All right, we're fast forwarding a week now, and these are my primos that you've seen in the last video. Started with that same way, using a vermiculite base and then a topsoil with some worm castings on top of that. I'd say this is going into about the third week. So I have them up, and as you can see there, I'll show you kind of a side view. They're getting tall. starting to get their real leaves. Now, what I'm going to be doing is transplanting them and singling them out. And what you see right here in this cup, it's Bigfoot Microbes. This is a concentrate that I've already mixed into a gallon of water, and it's a water-in type root inoculant. Fungi will get onto those roots and develop a symbiotic relationship between the roots and the soil to help with the uptake of the nutrients. It's going to help the plant eat better, but it says to do it every time you transplant. I'm just going to lightly pull. I don't want to damage the root ball that's already formulating, and you can see here this little seedling here. Look at the roots on that. It's already getting rooted up nicely. There you go. I'm going to dip it in here in the inoculant, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this in there. These are Primo seeds, and you can go to his website and pick these seeds up. Very good germination rate on his seeds. So I'm going to start plucking these out because I don't want to keep them in this soil. I don't want them crowding themselves out. And we'll get this one out of there. I'll tell you what, they're already developing really in that vermiculite. You can see the vermiculite that it's clinging to, and look at the roots in that. Just an amazing root system. And it's just a little tiny seedling, but the root system, folks, that's how you get really good peppers, is you have to develop the roots. They have to have a good relationship with the soil and the microbiology that's in your soil. If your soil is strong and your soil is good, they have that microbes. I would call it an enabler. And what it's going to do is allow your plants to uptake their nutrients when you do start doing that. And the soil, what's available in the soil now. Even this little fella, just a tiny little guy, and it's already got its root ball. Look at how small that is, and it's already starting to develop its roots. So I just dip it in there, and then I put them in the hole, and I'm getting really good. I tell you, in there, I don't know. You can get cheap microbes and you don't know what it is, but this stuff here is, I mean, the proof is right there. Some of them will get really good roots, but look at the roots on these little things. Roots like that are going to develop into nice healthy plants. And then I'm going to water it in a little bit just to get some moisture in the soil. It's because I want to get that contact with the roots. That is a combination between the way that I germinated these seeds and using the Bigfoot Microbes. Now these I am not done with. They're not ready to be transplanted, and the reason being seeds that are still germinating. So I'm not ready to start transplant. There's another seedling coming up over here, but they are crowded, and so I got to be careful that I don't let them overdevelop in groups like that. They'll be harder to separate. That vermiculite bed just allows so much aeration of the roots. Vermiculite doesn't break down, it doesn't crush. I've got all these planted up. Now I'm going to come in with some nice clean water, and I'm going to water these in.
Well, as you see, results don't lie. It's a really effective system, and I'm usually getting these kind of results off the heat mat in about 10 to 15 days most. And look at the success rate. Now I know exactly what I'm going to plant. There's no doubt. So now I'm going to be planting or transplanting these into the seed cubes individually, and those are like plugs and are really going to work out well. I have a really good high success rate doing this, so check it out. It's about that time of the year. Remember, Like and subscribe Papa Bear's Pepper channel. Have a great day and keep growing.